and cirrhosis of the liver in the many alcoholics I cared for as a young intern. I also witnessed the deadly effects on the liver of the first experimental bypass surgeries back in the 1970s. Many of those patients died of complications that included liver failure. Obviously, bypass surgery has come a long way since that time. But here's the thing. Medical science still doesn't appreciate what the liver actually does on a day-to-day basis, long before anything like elevated liver enzymes, fatty liver or cirrhosis appears. When I wrote the first edition of The Wisdom of Menopause back in 2001, I knew full well that menopause in and of itself was not to blame for all the many symptoms that women began to experience at midlife, such as insomnia, hot flashes, and irritability. Indeed, medical medium Liver Rescue points out that, in large part, these symptoms arise from a beleaguered liver, not because a woman has reached a certain age and is now destined to deteriorate, but instead because our lifestyles have compromised our liver function. As Anthony points out, the liver offers us two levels of protection against environmental toxins of all kinds: disarmament and detainment. But these functions don't last forever if we continue to ignore our liver function. Anthony elaborates on a phenomenon that I have observed repeatedly over the years. When a woman is on average age 38 and a man on average 48, these abilities of the liver start to wane and symptoms such as weight gain and hot flashes start, including what we label aging. For most people by this time, liver detox capacity has fallen to 60% of what it could be. Basically, the liver is saying, "I've taken care of you for decades and I can't keep this up unless you change something." Sobering, isn't it? And what a great word to use given alcohol's effect on liver health. Here's what you need to know. The liver's job is screening and filtering. It separates the beneficial from the toxic. It cleans the blood that goes from the liver directly to the heart. It is the ultimate blood purifier. It also protects you by sequestering solvents, pesticides, and viruses deep in its core, where they stay out of your bloodstream. When the liver lets go of toxins, they can go to three places. 1. They go to the colon via bile and the gallbladder and are eliminated in feces. 2. They go to the kidneys, where toxins are eliminated through urine. And finally, 3. They are eliminated in the bloodstream as free radicals. But this is a last resort. Now listen up. Everyone needs to know this part. We are living in a time when more people than ever are being diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, heart palpitations, and other heart problems. In fact, heart disease of all kinds is the #1 killer of both women and men. Here's a large part of the reason, in Anthony's words, which you'll hear later on in this audiobook. When your liver gets to the point of being unable to process all the unproductive material running through it, more free radical debris and toxic matter, and less toxic matter the liver didn't bury in its core, will be in the bloodstream, forcing the heart to pump harder to pull the blood up from the liver, like sucking pudding through a straw, resulting in high blood pressure. If your liver is clogged to the point where biofilm starts to break off into the blood, then you're likely to develop heart flutters as this jelly-like substance gums up heart valves, preventing the smooth flow of blood. But regardless of where you are now in terms of your health, there's no need to throw up your hands and just accept diminished liver function as inevitable with each passing year. Instead, know that the
Hi guys, this is Dr. Win Fan. I'm an internal medicine doctor. I really recommend reading this book, Liver Rescue. It's a heavy book, but it's got a lot of heavy information here that will help you, help your family, and help yourself to get better, to find answers that you don't have from doctors who are well-meaning but don't have the tools in their toolbox to help you. I've been using his protocols, Anthony Williams protocols, for the last 3 years, incorporating into my practice, where we've been able to get people off medications, off thyroid medications who've been on for 15 to 20 years. It's not easy work for me, I admit it, but it can happen. If you have one thing that you get out of the books is that you can heal with this information. It's free. He tells you on his shows, on his web pages, on his Facebook and Instagram lives that he's not here to make money from the books, because honestly speaking, nowadays people are giving away books in order to establish themselves as experts in the field and somehow make a living off of that. And there are many doctors who are very much trying to help you, but there's so much information out there. And I was there. I was looking for information for my own family member whom the doctors couldn't help and the alternative practitioners couldn't help, until I found Anthony and actually was able to use his information that I got to help my own family member. So I know where you've been. It's frustrating, it's costly, and it's confusing. For me, a medical professional who was reading all the different blogs and books and summits and stuff out there, who do you believe? This doctor says this and this doctor says that, and many of them are just trying to sell themselves as an expert to sell their products. Many are not. And there's nothing wrong with that. They have to make a living and they have to try to influence others. But really, if you really want to find the answers, the true answers to what's going on, rather than covering up with symptoms and medication, then look into the books, please, and read it with an open mind, obviously. But again, there are hints in the literature, medical literature, that talk about what Anthony talks about. But I guarantee you this information is different than what you've heard. It will piss off many conventional doctors and alternative doctors. But isn't that what you need? You need something different to help you get you through. So I honestly believe this is going to help many, many people, and to take back the power of helping heal yourself and healing those people around you. There are going to be more and more sick people, young people, who have chronic illnesses that are inexplicable. And what Anthony does is he frames it so that you know what the cause is and how to do it. The latest book, again, it has doses and how to do these things the other books don't have. Not to say that the other books aren't good. The other books are very, very helpful. But this book is just amazing in terms of the new information out there. And if you've ever been if you haven't gone through the different books that Anthony has, you owe it to yourself to just kind of at least try one of them to get the information that you need, okay? So much love to everybody out there, and to Anthony and his crew, who are really fighting the good fight and are being smeared left and right. The clones out there are just trying to take him down, and there's information out there that can really help you and your family if you're sick and tired of hearing the same things, that it's your fault, that you attracted it, that you need to rely on a doctor to heal. You do need to work with a doctor. Don't get me wrong. Otherwise, I'd be out of business. But you can take first steps with information that he provides in the books. Do his webinars free. Do his podcasts on SoundCloud that are free. Do his blogs. And all sorts of places, Facebook and Instagram, where he's trying to share information so people can actually take back their health. Okay? All right.